Central bank is keeping interest rates on hold as inflation moves further above its target rate. On Wall Street, Dow futures are ahead 319 points. NASDAQ futures are up 171.5. More details at srnews.com.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 31st and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number, 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
This holiday season, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has the perfect gifts to make Christmas merry and bright. Need something special for that grill master? Check out their top line of grills and griddles from Blackstone, Traeger, and Weber. Guaranteed to make their holiday sizzle. Stocking stuffers, they've got you covered with tools, gadgets, and must-haves for every DIYer in your life. And head on with their powerful Eco snowblowers, perfect for clearing the way this season. Plus, spruce up your home for the holidays with a fresh coat of Benjamin Moore paint, or get ready for the new year with a stunning remodel. Enjoy the holidays this year with Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, with locations in Goodland and
Rocket 102.5.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. Daytime highs approaching 55 today. Under mainly clear skies, winds out of the northwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows dip down to around 19 tonight, clear skies. Daytime highs approaching 43 tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Dry Saturday and Sunday under mainly sunny skies with highs in the mid-50s. Take a look at the extended forecast, 54 Monday, 56 Tuesday, and 54 on Wednesday. Another look at the short range, a high of 55 today. Lows level off around 19 tonight. We should top off around 43 tomorrow. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Currently, it's 40 degrees.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
Carbon monoxide, or CO, is a silent killer. CO is a deadly gas with no scent, color, or taste, and common CO sources are poorly vetted gas furnaces, propane space heaters, gas grills, and portable generators, and exhaust from automobiles. It's important to make sure you have a working CO detector in your home. Change your CO detector's batteries each year and check your detector's expiration date and replace as needed. A safety message from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative making energy work for you.
The year-end clearance is on at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Save big on remaining hail vehicles like a 2024 GMC 2500 with some hail repaired. You can still take an additional $8,000 off. Or drive away in a 24 GMC Sierra 1500 and save up to $8,500 off, including rebates on lightly hailed units. Plus, enjoy 0% financing for up to 36 months on select new GMC and Chevrolet vehicles. These deals won't last long. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com and wrap up the year with incredible savings.
Merry Christmas from the Farmers State Bank in Oakley. We invite you to stop into our lobby for coffee and cookies throughout the month of December as our small way of saying thank you to our loyal customers. We appreciate your business in 2024 and throughout our 117 years of community banking and look forward to serving you in the new year. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
This holiday season, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has the perfect gifts to make Christmas merry and bright. Need something special for that grill master? Check out their top line of grills and griddles from Blackstone, Traeger, and Weber. Guaranteed to make their holiday sizzle. Stocking stuffers, they've got you covered with tools, gadgets, and must-haves for every DIYer in your life. And tackle winter head-on with their powerful Eco snowblowers, perfect for clearing the way this season. Plus, spruce up your home for the holidays with a fresh coat of Benjamin Moore paint or get ready for the new year with a stunning remodel. Enjoy the holidays this year with Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby.
This time of year, you'll find some booking discounts, the savings in the bag, Pioneer seed bags with Chris Marshall Seeds of Oakley, Kansas. Take advantage of the special prices, and they want to say thank you for your business. Chris Marshall Seeds, Old Highway 40 of Oakley.
Settle in and stay connected with Nextech Wireless and a device on us. Choose from the newest iPhone 16, the Samsung Galaxy S24, or a new tablet on us. Get an extra $100 with your device trade-in, no matter the condition. Nextech Wireless, home on the range.
It's a quality building that's made for our weather. Check out the strength and durability of a Wick building. Material quality and strength. Now, they're busy now, but they'll do their best to work you in ASAP. Contact Kevin Brown at Sapa Valley Construction in Oberlin. You can't lick a Wick.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
The region's only local sports talk.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
Showtime for the Lady Eagles.
To the pros.
McKinnon is in at running back. First down and goal to go. Play action fake. Right side throw. Touchdown. Kansas City.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Atkins with an empty backfield. Western Kentucky brings 5 to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
A-State with a little crisper movement. Baseline 3 for Sundell, way strong. Ayokali, the offensive rebound, count it, and 1.
These teams have 17 interceptions. How about a fake punt? The shovel pass. How good was that? Marshall Nichols, the punter, executes it perfectly.
This thing sets Sundell all alone from the right wing. There it is. Yep. Her first 3 and K-State's second of the night. No defender close and moved the lead to 30.
Quiet night in the sports night last night. You know, I mean, if you want to watch, to an extent, it depends on how big of a sports nerd you are. That's the way I would put yesterday in the world of sports. If you love women's college basketball, 13th ranked Kansas State got a nice win last night. They remain to just absolutely be a wagon here early on this season. They beat New Mexico State 83-39. There was actually a quarter where Ayoka Lee had more points in the third quarter than the opposing team did as a squad. So it was quite a day for Ayoka Lee. Once again, who had another double-double. But like I said, it wasn't a huge night. If you like the bowl games last night, they were There was the NJCAA or the NJCAA football national title featuring Hutchinson Community College, which congratulations to the Blue Dragons. A friend of mine, Sean Boston, play-by-play voice of the Blue Dragons, in his first year gets to call a national championship in football because they come back. They were down, I think, 17-3 when I turned it on in the third quarter, and they stormed back in the third and held on, had a red zone stand on the last drive. Former Iowa State quarterback Hunter Deckers, who was at Iowa Western, had a really bad second half. From I watched him, he was horrific, but bad pass, miscommunication with his wide receiver, and Hutchinson holds on with a defensive stand in the red zone, and they win themselves a national championship, preventing a three-peat by the Reavers of Iowa Western. Would have been the first ever three-peat in JUCO college football, but it did not happen. Other than that, like I said, it wasn't like a super big sports night. I didn't find it to be that way. A little bit of a slower time. So I don't know. What were you doing last night, Max?
Nothing really.
Nothing at all.
I didn't watch the bowl games. So yeah, I really.
What do you do if you're not watching sports?
I'll play some video games with my friends from college. We do that. A lot.
What game is the game of choice these days?
Well, it was Call of Duty for a bit when that came out, and then Fortnite OG came back out. So we've been playing a little Fortnite again, to act like the old days. And then we'll play some PGA. We play some PGA too. So that's
I used to
the
play
game
PGA, and then I came with the thought, why would I do this when I can actually go play golf myself?
Well, you can't play golf at 11:30 at night.
I guess
and you also can't play golf with your friends when one's in Delaware and one's in Idaho and one's it's all spread out across the country. But you're right.
You guys are all across the country. Idaho,
we're all
Delaware,
across the country now.
Western Kansas. I don't know who got the better draw out of those three.
Yeah, well then we have we've got one in South Dakota, one in West Virginia. We're all spread out now, so it's crazy. It's crazy times.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
True.
Thank goodness for technology, right?
Yes.
Thank goodness for technology.
I did want to say
college football. Do you play college football 25?
I did for a bit.
College football 25, by the way, is the most successful football game. I don't know, in the last decade or something like that is what they're saying.
Yeah,
it's
that was expected. I mean, everyone was so excited for that game to come out.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
It was fun. It was fun for a bit. I do want to say, I just want to get this. This is so incredible. The Athletic came out with a story just 28 minutes ago. Charles Curtis wrote this story that the Jets owner, because I know we're going to talk about some NFL.
Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson.
You're tying this into video games. That's what you're doing.
Okay. It's also perfect. It all worked out really well there. Vetoed a trade for Jerry Jeudy because his Madden overall was not high enough. And another example came when Johnson pushed back on signing free agent guard John Simpson due to lackluster awareness rating in Madden.
Yeah, Woody Johnson's sons, Brick, and I forget his other son's name. One of his sons' name is Brick.
Brick and Jack.
Brick and Jack. They apparently make the decisions on who they should have be based upon Madden ratings. That's great.
Goodness gracious.
That is hilarious.
Great. Just a great. It's about 2 paragraphs
long.
What
would happen if this pretty much is a scenario. What would happen if Max Gershon ran your team? That's what would be the story.
If I was an offensive coordinator, yeah, we'd run a lot of Madden plays. Say that. We'd run a lot of halfback stretch, and we'd run a lot of Madden plays.
Run a lot of halfback stretch. Anyway, good Thursday morning, everybody. It's December 19th. We're less than a week away from Christmas. 38 degrees outside, partly cloudy skies. A high of 54 expected today here on this Thursday. A cooler temperature in around the 40s tomorrow, and then we will move into temperatures back around. It's up around 50s or upper 40s. It's going to be the temperatures looks like for the coming week and maybe even into the Christmas. So we got plenty to get to on today's show. We'll never have enough time. There are so many stories I would love to dive into. I know I'm going to have to punt one for tomorrow, and that's fine. We'll get to that. Max has to get something off of his chest about Mahomes and his limp scandal, apparently. We'll get to that coming up a little bit later on in the show. Huge night tonight, sports night. We'll get to that in the walk-off. We will talk a little women's college basketball as Colby Community College women's head coach Darren Spence in his second season. He's going to join the program coming up here. I emailed him yesterday, asked if he'd join the show. He said he'd be happy to. He's out cruiting. He's out doing some cruiting during the holiday break. And so visit with Darren Spence from Colby Community College women's basketball, already off to a great season, is CCC, and want to get his thoughts on his team this year. So plenty of things to get into. Well, if we have time, we'll touch on Doug Gottlieb, who's making an ass out of himself again. So we'll get to that coming up here in segment 3. So we got plenty of things to get to here on today's program. As always, the FNB Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. Already, great faithful listener Michael saying it is game day. Go Broncos. That's right. Broncos at the Chargers tonight. Big game with big implications for both teams on the line tonight in Thursday Night Football. First ever game to get flexed to Thursday night. I think you brought up that stat. I think you did possibly.
Might have.
I think you brought that stat. First ever Thursday night game, or first ever game to get flexed to Thursday night. And so that's what we'll see. The Broncos and the Chargers on Thursday night. It's going to be a tough night at the Volkmer household. I've got Nebraska Penn State volleyball and Broncos Chargers. Ooh, tough. Might have to go down to the basement and dual screen it for a while.
Yeah, that's a dual screener.
That is
definitely a dual screener.
By the way, if you have not scheduled in your calendar to watch the women's college volleyball Final Four, which gets going today at 5:30 Central, 4:30 Mountain Time, if you have nothing else going on, sit down, grab your popcorn, and watch. That is some highly entertaining stuff, folks. That is great, great sports. Anyway, plenty to get to here on the Morning Blitz, but we're going to do something a little new here in segment 1. Max has for a while been wanting to do his NFL power rankings. As we get to the very end of the regular season, Max would like to give us, he wants us to debate the power rankings in the NFL, give us our own personal opinion on where we think teams stand. So we're going to try an attempt at this. So work with us here as we kick off with our NFL power rankings. Let's see. We need some music for this. There we go. NFL music for you with the NFL power rankings. So the way I have it in my mind, and Max can say, Roscoe kick rocks on this idea, but I'm going to say we're going to start at 10 and we'll work our way down, alternating to 1. How does that sound?
That sounds good to me.
Now, once again, the thing is you cannot reuse a team. So once it's off the board, it's gone.
Okay.
You got to keep going.
Okay,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
This is a collective list.
Yes, it's a collective list. Very well worded. That's why he went to the Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting right there, folks.
Yeah, and I still can't figure out my lighting because obviously my face is much darker than everything around me.
You are a little darker today.
Lighting is crooked. I have to fix that in after our first segment.
Working on the tan a little bit.
Yeah, right? I wish.
Yeah.
All right.
No conversation for the time. Anyway, let's get rolling with number 10. I want to go to 10 to 1. Where do you start your list? I have mine 10 through 1. I'm intrigued to see where you start with number 10 on the NFL power rankings.
My number 10 is the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams have been playing some really good football. They struggled to start the year, but they've gotten back up to 8-6 and on top of that NFC West. They beat the Bills, who I'm sure are going to be a lot higher on this list for both of us. But I have the Rams at number 10, and I think it's mostly just because if we're talking power rankings, this offense, it's some power because they can punch and they can go into a shootout. And the defense has also stepped up, and so has the offensive line. So Rams number 10 on my list.
Yeah, I mean, they've won 4 out of their last 5 games, including that 44-42 shootout against the Bills a couple weeks ago. But, you look, they beat the Patriots by 6 in that stretch. They beat the 49ers by 6 in that horrific game. That was just last week. That was bad. They were in my list. I will give you that. They were in my list. They are a top 10 team, I think, and it's mostly because of their offense and because of their 2 wide receivers, Nakua and Kupp and Stafford. That's the biggest. Those 3 guys there shoulder the load because I don't think their defense is really that fantastic. Their offense, though, is really good, and that puts them in the top 10. I would agree. Moving on to number 9. I think I'm going to have to go with probably with the Buccaneers, maybe at number 9. I had the Rams at 9 for me, so I'll have to, since that's off the table, I'll put the Buccaneers there because they were number 10.
Who was your number 10?
The Buccaneers.
10? Okay.
The Buccaneers are number 10. So they surprised me. I wanted to find every reason to not put them in the top 10 teams in the NFL, but I just can't because it seems like every Sunday they're in a game that they are competitive in. Once again, if you're Cleveland, aren't you just sick to your stomach that Baker Mayfield is doing all this when you had him and you could still have him, but you let him go and now he's down there at Tampa Bay carrying this team? That's got to make you absolutely sick. I mean, that offense, they've got good weapons and he's getting the ball to them and their defense has been okay, not great. I mean, you look at the total offensive numbers for the Buccaneers this year. I mean, Baker Mayfield has them as a top 10 offense. In fact, I think they're actually number 8 in the NFL when it comes to top 10 offense. Give them a lot of credit that they've been really good offensively, and so they cracked the top 10. I wanted to find every reason not to put them in the top 10, but they are in the top 10.
That's interesting. The Bucks just missed my list. They were probably going to be my number 11 if we extended it, but so they just missed my list. So now going to number 8. See, this is where it gets tricky with the alternate because
that's my point. That's why you have to think.
I had the Packers at 9.
Oh, wow, really? Okay.
Yes, I had the Packers at 9 mostly because they've really, the only good team they've beaten is like the Seahawks. They haven't really beaten a good team, and they haven't proven to me that they're above the Denver Broncos at number 8. And that's because the Denver Broncos defense is absolutely incredible, and they keep proving it week in and week out. It doesn't matter if Bo Nix throws 3 picks. He's going to make plays near the end of the game to help them win, and their defense is going to add points to the scoreboard because they keep getting touchdowns defensively as well. So Broncos at number 8 on the power rankings.
See, that's a team. The Broncos are a team I wanted to put in the top 10, but for some reason, I just could not do it. I don't know why. I know their defense is elite. I know it's very, very good. I mean, their defense is up there when it comes to total defense. And let's see, where do they stack up here on defense? Yeah, they're probably number 8 in the league as well in total defense.
Didn't the Broncos? This was a while ago. The Broncos and Bucks played this year.
Yeah, very early in the season.
26-7 Broncos. Yeah.
So I don't know. I had a hard time putting them in the power rank because I guess we should have probably specified when you're doing your power rankings, are you banking it on where you sit right now on the season? Where you sit right now?
I think it's the best. The teams you wouldn't want to play if right now. Pretty much like the best teams right now. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so best teams right now. I don't have a problem with the Broncos being there. They're kind of in a hodgepodge of teams, I think, that are probably from 7 on down.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion.
Definitely.
So, all right. So right now we've got Rams at 10, Buccaneers at 9, and Broncos at 8, which I don't have a humongous issue with. Boy, this is where it gets tough. I think I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm checking them off my list. So I think I'm going to have to go with here. Boy, I have a lot more respect for Green Bay than you do at that point in time. Because I'm guessing that's probably where you would throw Green Bay at this point in time. I'm actually going to go with. Oh gosh, I'm actually going to throw the Ravens in right now. Okay. I don't know why. I have the Ravens. If you would ask me, honestly, a month ago or a month and 6 weeks ago, I would have said, "Boy, the Ravens are one of the best 3 teams in the NFL." But they've just kind of fallen off a little bit here, and I'm not 110% sure why. They're not running the football as well as they were initially with Derrick Henry. So I'm going to put the Ravens there. Their defense is average; it's not great, and offensively, I don't know why they're not putting up the same type of yardage or points that they were in the previous few games. I know they've got, I think, 8-9-5 record, I think is what they have in this point in time in the season. So I don't know. I don't love it, but I'm going to put the Ravens there at number 7.
The Ravens were number 6 on mine.
Okay.
So I don't.
We're not far off.
No. So I guess I'll move my 7 up to 6. The thing is, I don't think the Packers are this high. So like someone's gonna.
I'm glad I did this. I think
someone's gonna just have to miss in my top 5. That's just not gonna be in the top 10 now, most likely.
That'd be great. I love this.
If you put the Packers in here soon. So I go number 6, Pittsburgh Steelers. They were 7. I'll move them up to 6. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're still healthy enough. Their defense is taking a little bit of a hit, but they're still playing some good football. Russell Wilson, I still think, has kind of resurrected his career. George Pickens. They've got some heavy hitters on this team, and it's going to be interesting to see. Especially, it's a very interesting spot right now in the NFL where you've got 2 games on Saturday, and then those 4 teams are playing in a different combination on Wednesday. It makes almost zero sense for the scheduling to do it the way they did, where it's the Texans, Ravens, Steelers, and Chiefs are all playing Saturday and Wednesday. So very interesting, and that's going to be a big turning point for all 4 of those teams. But yeah, I'll put the Steelers at 6.
Yeah, the Steelers are a solid team, and defensively, they're only allowing, I think it's like 18 points per game. So they're very good defensively. They're really, really awesome in that department. Offensively, the Steelers, I don't know. They're okay. I don't know. I love their defense. I just don't trust their offense, which I think I had them in my list at like around the 8 spot. So they're way higher than what I kind of would have put them at this point in time. But they are a top 10 team. They have a great defense. And Russell Wilson is playing in a system that fits him. You know, there's only really one system that Russell Wilson fits in. It's a run-heavy offense with play-action deep shots. That's what Russell Wilson does well. The Steelers are doing that, and because of that, they're having the success that they're having here this year. So, yeah, Steelers. So where are we at? 6 with Steelers, is that right?
That's right. Steelers at 6.
All right. Golly. Moving on to number 5.
You're going to have to leave one of these teams
I
out.
don't want to leave this team out.
That's why I think the Packers are going to have to be left out.
See, and that's ridiculous. They should not be left out. I actually have ever. We'll get to that later. I'm putting the Vikings here at 5. The Vikings are a 5 team. The Vikings are really good. I mean, really, honestly, they are super good. They've been so good on both sides of the ball, if you ask me. They're a top 10 offense underneath Sammy Darnold. And then you look at it defensively, they're a really good defense as well. They've had a pretty darn good season defensively underneath Brian Flores, their DC. So I've been highly impressed with them, with the Vikings, with how they have played at this point in time on both sides of the ball. I mean, they're a top 5 defensive team, allowing just 17 points per game. So they have a lot of things going right for them. Once again, Sam Darnold for comeback player of the year this year in my vote. But yeah, Vikings are a top 5 team. I don't know why. I don't know how you really couldn't keep them out of kind of the top 5, top 6.
Yeah,
how they play on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively.
That's exactly where I have at number 5 because of Brian Flores' job, and then the offense with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson is just it's been elite. Aaron Jones as well, so they're number 5. Number 4, I'm going with my Kansas City Chiefs at number 4. They could have really been interchangeable with the Vikings, but I think the Chiefs, even though they have the best record in the NFL, it's clear that they're not the best team in the NFL. They're 5-1 against playoff teams this year, so it's not like they're beating bad teams, which I'm sure if you go on the internet for one day, you'll think that the Chiefs are actually the worst team in the league and that they only beat bad teams and they only beat them by 3. But nope, not true. They are 5-1 against playoff teams. Chiefs at number 4 in the power rankings because you don't want to play them. If we're, right now, it doesn't matter. You don't want to play the Chiefs. Number 4, I think is a fair spot for them because I think there are 3 teams that are clearly better than them, even though they don't have a better record than the Chiefs. I still think that the 3 teams left are much better.
All right, so I'm in charge of number 3 here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Lions at number 3 at this point in time. I probably would have the Lions higher, but David Montgomery getting hurt really sets this back. Aiden Hutchinson already hurt, saying he'll be back for the Super Bowl when they make it. That's a long, you don't know that could happen. That could not happen. Injuries have plagued them, and that's an issue. Otherwise, they've been great offensively and defensively. I mean, they are the number 1 scoring offense in football, and they're a number top 10 defense right now. When you look at the Lions, especially when it comes to allowing points allowed, so they're the number 1 offense by yards and by points, over 33 points per game and over 404 yards per game. They do it. They are very, very good offensively. Ben Johnson, their OC, is going to be a head coach very soon, and defensively, they're good enough to do enough to be there. So yeah, I think, but those injuries have prevent me from putting them up there in the top 2 spots. That's why they're number 3.
I mean, yeah, they lead the league with 22 people listed as injured. It's unbelievable, and it sucks for Detroit fans. But I think their offense is still pretty much healthy. David Montgomery obviously hurts a lot, but their defense has really been who's gotten the big blows to the injury list. So yeah, I mean they were number 1 for a while, but with all those injuries, it's just hard to put them in the top anywhere besides 3. So Lions were my 3rd team as well. Number 2, I'm sure we're on the same page here, Ross. Eagles are my number 2 team.
Kind of.
Okay. Eagles at number 2 for me. They're playing sound football, hard to beat. Kind of feels like the Eagles that we saw when they made the Super Bowl, except they've got Saquon Barkley now. So it's a good squad. Their offensive line is the best in the league. Man, I wish Mahomes had this much time to throw that Jalen Hurts does, just sitting back there all day and then getting pushed forward for first downs. But hey, it works. It's consistent. Eagles are number 2.
Number 1 rushing offense in the league at over 186 yards per contest. They run the ball extremely well to the Eagles. They're a top 10 offense, a top 10 defense. In fact, they're the number 1 defense when it comes to yards per game allowed. When they allow just a minuscule 275 yards per game. In comparison, the next best team are the Titans at 297.
Huh.
And they are so far out in front of everybody else when it comes to yards per game allowed. And they only allow 17.6 points per game, which puts them like tied at the top with Denver, the Chargers, with Denver and LA. The two teams playing down on Thursday night, two of the best defenses squaring off tonight, and the Eagles are right there with them. So that's why the Eagles were number one for me. They are the most complete team at this point in time. The most complete team.
That's fair.
I know who I know who I'm supposed to put at number one, and I'll put him there, the Bills.
Yeah.
With Josh Allen, who is MVP. Don't get me wrong. But that's not the most complete team. Yes, their offense is ridiculous and putting up unbelievable amount of points, over 370 yards per game and over 32 points per contest. But if you flip of the coin and you look at the defense for the Buffalo Bills, it is a bottom third defense. They have not been great defensively. They allow a decent amount of points, and they allow a good amount of yards. And so that is why they are not the number one team in my book. That's why Eagles were number one at this point in time. We sit here right here today. It's the Eagles at number one in my opinion, but the Bills will have to be number one in our power rankings here this week.
It's such a weird spot for the NFL. I completely understand what you're saying, but it's like, I think it's just matchups. It's all about matchups. I think anyone in the top five, I'm so confident that the Chiefs could beat any of these teams, but they're not the best team. It's the weird part. It's just such a weird spot to be in because the Chiefs are winning, but they're not the best
team. Power rankings for you. I mean, it's you're just looking at it from a totality.
Right.
Not on, yes, what you've done, who you've beat, but how have you looked doing it, all that stuff.
So where did you have the Packers?
4.
Really?
I had the Packers.
Where'd you have the Chiefs?
3.
So where'd you have the Lions?
Buccaneers, Rams, Steelers, Ravens, Vikings, Lions at 5.
Interesting.
And then I had Green Bay at 4. And the reason why I flipped those two is because Green Bay's healthy.
Yeah.
Detroit is not. And I don't care what you say. I know Green Bay hasn't beaten a lot of great teams. I watch that team, and they do a lot of things really
good.
They do a lot of things good. So Green Bay getting left off the list is a travesty because they shouldn't be left off the list, but they are. Because they are, in my opinion, a top 5, top 6 team. Any way you want to shuffle it. But, I mean, I think, to me, Chiefs, Bills, Eagles are the 3 best teams when you look at it. When you have Mahomes and you have one of the best defense in the league, that puts you in the top 3. When you've got Allen and you've got one of the best offenses with an okay defense, that makes you top 2. And then when you have both great offense and defense, when you're the Eagles, that makes you number 1.
Yeah,
that's what stands out to me.
It feels like it's going to be one of those scenarios where whether it's Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, it's going to be, like I said, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes versus the better team. And it's just going to depend on how much Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes can do to beat that better team. So I like it. I think that's a solid list that we put together. Unfortunately, the Packers fell out. Sorry, not sorry, but I had them at 9, so I'm not really that mad. But I know we have different views.
I had them way higher.
They're a good team. They're a good team.
To me, I think they are better than, in my list, the Steelers, the Ravens. And then the Vikings, Lions, and Green Bay, to me, that's a toss-up. You could kind of go wherever you wanted to go on that. So,
well, they haven't beaten any of those teams. They've lost the Lions twice. They lost the Vikings.
That is a very valid point.
They lost the Eagles.
Very valid point. That's an extremely valid point. Okay, there you go. An NFL power rankings here in segment 1. All right, we'll take a break, come back. Darren Spence going to join us next. Colby Community College women's head basketball coach. Off to a fantastic start here in the 2024-25 season. We'll get his thoughts on that next. This is the Morning Blitz.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Trade Group with your overnight market report on December the 19th. March corn unchanged at $4.3725. May unchanged at $4.43. In July is unchanged at $4.46.5. January soybeans are up 4 at 956 and a quarter. March up 4.5 at 958, and May up 4.5 at 966 and a quarter. Kansas City hard red winter wheat. March is down 4 1/4 at 544. May is down 4 at 552.5, and July is down 3.5 at 561. Dow Jones is currently up 290 points at 43,066. S&P is up 39 points at 5,979. NASDAQ is up 119 points at 21,621. Gold is down 43 points at 2609, and crude oil is slightly up at 71.12 per barrel. If you're out in the Colorado area and have any grain to market or risk management questions, please call John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or you can call the Overland Park office, myself, Tom Saludo, Jared Ball, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000. Thank you.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Imagine having 86% more days with perfect weather. Imagine having an extra 4 hours every morning or a combine that's 86% more powerful. That's the feeling of a Revitec fungicide harvest. Revitec is proven to outperform the competition 86% of the time, providing up to 9.5 more bushels per acre. It's the #1 recommended choice by growers. Visit Revitec.com and look forward to a future that's 86% more secure. Always read and follow label directions.
The only competition that really matters is you versus you. And with the performance of Veltima fungicide from BASF, you can take your best results even further. Veltima fungicide is on your side to out-yield the competition by an average of 7 bushels per acre, but you've never been average. Beat your own record, get every bushel you deserve, and make this your best season yet with Veltima fungicide from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
Some say above normal snowfall this year, so to get through the snow that does fall.
Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
He talks about sports on the radio.
We're back here on a Thursday morning here on the Morning Blitz. Glad you could join us. We will get to some a little bit more of Mahomes chit-chat and some other news story out of college basketball featuring Doug Gottlieb here in a little bit and in our final segment. But I want to talk to been thinking for a while, I wanted to get this guy on the show in his second year. He's the head coach of the Colby Community College women's basketball team, Darren Spence, kind of to join us here this morning and spend some time with us. Good morning, Coach Spence. How are we doing today?
Doing great. Good morning, and thank you for having me on.
Boy, I tell you, Coach, it's been a great start to this season after, a tough year last year. Talk about last year. I think you only had 8 total wins when the season got over, and I think you have already over that this year. And so the question I have is, how challenging it can a first year be in a rebuild as a coach and in a program?
It's difficult, but it's not my first time doing it. My entire career, I've taken over what I call the fixer-uppers, even back when I started at Butler JUCO years ago, Cali, when I went to the Division I level, took over the New Mexico State job, when I went Division II and took over Newman University. They've all had challenges, and so I kind of have an idea of the patience that it's needed, but also to push and pull and bother the people above me at each stop to get the programs moving forward. And often, before you get them moving forward, you got to get them to stop moving backwards, and that can be because of a lot of different reasons. But the Colby Community College program was no different. It had fallen on hard times, and it just needed a reboot. And so, coming in there in the middle of that summer, it was tough getting a whole new team in a short amount of time, but we made it through, and we built into year two.
Coach, moving into this season, you guys ended November with 3 straight losses, then went 4-1 in December. What have you seen improve the most for your team on the court?
Schedule. We're trying to build this thing in a very, very tough Jayhawk conference, with 13 teams, and we were picked 10th this year. We're sitting a little bit higher than that, but we opened up in conference play having to go to Hutch, the defending national champion. I don't think they've lost in about 50 games. Really, really good. Then we went to Garden City, to Butler. So those were very, very tough road games for us. And then we had a couple home games, and then ended it up with a road win at Pratt. But slowly but surely, our team is learning. We play a lot of new young kids this year, and so getting them to have some confidence in scoring the ball has been the top priority for us, because we're always good defensively. We've spent some time as the nation's top-ranked team defense this year, and after those 3 road games, it's kind of dropped down, but I think we're still in the top 15. So as long as we keep defending, we're going to find ways to score the ball. And when we get back for second semester, let's hope that we found that groove.
We're visiting with Darren Spence. He's the head coach of the Colby Community College women in his second season. Coach, I want to go back to your opening statement talking about, rebuilding programs. What do you like about rebuilding programs? Because you've done it a lot throughout the course of your career.
I've done it everywhere I've been, and people think I'm crazy. This is my 33rd year as a college head coach, and I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good people. I've had a lot of good assistants, a lot of good players that have come through, and it's just taken some time. And my faith guides me, and I think I guess I know, but at this point of the career, that these are the programs that God wants me in. So I jump in the deep end and just get going with it. But the first thing, you got to get the right people. You got to not really the best players, but you got to get the right ones and the right people involved in your program. We have what's called the We Do philosophy. It's a proactive way to get things done. It's on all our shirts. It's on all our social media. It's just, goes with our core values of our program, and we live those every day, and we just try to make each other better each day.
So can you tell me what those things, those core values you are looking for in a student athlete?
Yeah, well, simply our core values are appreciation, discipline, investment, ownership, and enthusiasm. And I think those carry over into the world of academics, into your personal life. And it's just a way of, just appreciating the opportunities that you have. But before we get to that, we've got to find players who can actually play basketball, pass, catch, shoot, dribble, who have a passion for it. I am very demanding as a head coach. We push people, past their limits. And often at this stage of the game and at this level, we're pushing kids harder to be better than what they even want to be until they realize how much better they can be. And so we spend time. That's where the investment comes in. And if a kid's not willing to spend the time, it's just not going to work. The program I took over, they had 1 win the season before I got there. They had a 1.9 team grade point average. So you would say that hit an all-time low. Right now we're sitting in year 2 with 9 wins. We're probably going to have at least a 3.5 team grade point average. So getting the right people goes a long way. And then when you have the right people on your bus and they're working hard together to make each other better, they're going to get better. They're going to win games. They're going to give themselves a chance to win games that people don't think we're supposed to win. But right now it's just about the kids we have in our uniform mean a lot to us, and they're working really hard.
How challenging is it recruiting players? I know you're doing that right now. You're calling us on the road while you're out recruiting, but how hard is it to recruit student athletes with the right principles that you want? Because I'm sure a lot of other programs want that. So how do you go about getting them on your team?
Yeah, it's the interesting thing about that is that all the levels through the years, I've heard a lot of, Coach, I really love what you're doing. I love you and your staff, and so I've coached against a lot of the kids that we really needed to make our programs better. But at this stage of it, I really believe that the right player is going to end up in our program. I really do. I don't lose as much sleep over it as I once did. But there are challenges, where we're at in our location. So what we've had to do is find our niche, figure out what kids fit best. We're going after the in-state Kansas kids who can play. I've always been a believer of our Kansas players. I think the state of Kansas has really good coaches, has really good players. Once these young ladies get to college and they go right into basketball and don't go through volleyball, it's amazing how much better they can be. So, we have 7 Kansas kids on our roster right now. We've hit into Colorado. Obviously we have a few international kids, but we just, we don't get in a hurry and take the wrong people. It takes a lot of work where we're at it out in Colby. And so, some people think we're on the moon if they're out east, but we've had a lot of reception. We've gained a lot of traction into Colorado, and there's good players out there as well.
Coach, when you are out recruiting, what are you looking for on the court specifically for players that you would want on your team? For any younger basketball players listening that they could take and want to show every time they go out on a basketball court.
Well, right now, in year 33 as a head coach, it's about who can make shots and who are tough. Toughness and shot making ability trump everything. Now, of course, I like length. The bigger the better. We'd like to switch a lot of things defensively. So if we have kids that are all about the same size, that helps as well. And then always looking for, a couple really good point guards who can just go make good decisions. But I think the separating factor is finding kids who can shoot the ball.
Darren Spence continue to be our guest here, Colby Community College women's head basketball coach. One of those young ladies that you recruited last year is a young lady that a lot of us know who've been following basketball in our region here, Jara Kruleski, who was at Holcomb. And she has actually come to be your leading scorer to this point in time in the season. Can you talk a little about Jara and how good she's transitioned from high school to the college game?
Yes, we love Jara. Jara's a lot like me. She's got some sarcasm to her. She's got a lot of toughness to her. When you look at her, I always tease her and say it, and I always ask her, I say, hey, Jara, does this bring your little sister to work day? Because, she looks like somebody's little sister that jumps out on the court and shoots, at timeouts and halftime. But she's a fierce competitor, a great kid, can really shoot the ball. And that, and she fits that role for us. We needed somebody who, when we throw the ball to you, standing in the corner at that shorter 3-point shot at our level, knock it down. So she has learned that she can shoot it anytime she has it, and her teammates know it. And I get mad if she doesn't shoot it, but she has, she's earned her way into everybody's scouting report. When we beat Cali at home, they even came out in a box and won on her. And so I said, this must remind you of high school. You know what to do here. And so she's from a great family, works really, really hard, and we're happy to have her.
Coach, what's so hard about winning on the road in the Jayhawk? You guys have got a great home record, only just one loss in conference play at home. But why is it so hard to win on the road in this Jayhawk conference?
Well, in the league, I've been a head coach in this league. This is my 14th year, dating back to, the early 90s. There are programs in this league that are traditionally good, that they're funded really, really well. Everybody has good facilities in our league, and, their location is such that they're going to get, good players. And so, they're coached well, they have high level talent, and they're just used to winning. And right now they have that name on their jersey means a lot to them, whether it's their fans, their administrators, their coaches, obviously, and their players. But it helps them recruit. And if you have players, you can be good. So, our challenge right now is getting that Colby Trojans to mean more to the people out in our area of the state, our region, and then let that carry over into our recruiting. But they all have good players. This league is coached very, very well. It reminds me of my years as an NCAA Division II head coach. When we were in the MIAA, it was just the level of coaching in the Jayhawk reminds me of that. Coaches that have been at their programs for a while, and so they have their their way of doing things set. So we could be better, but those programs aren't getting worse anytime soon. So it's a big challenge. You have to not have a lot of live ball turnovers that lead to their points, and that's what caught us in our three losses in league road losses.
Coach, coming out of holiday break, you guys are at home against Seward County. What do you want to see in the kind of second semester of basketball, you could say, out of your team?
Well, I want to see us become more comfortable on the offensive end. We've made strides to be better there. Just the overall confidence and the knowledge of what shot to shoot. We have some good shooters. We just haven't shown it yet. I think we've taken the wrong threes at times. Not the wrong people, but just out of rhythm and not into a flow offensively. So I want us to feel, more comfortable on the offensive end. Of course, we're going to keep defending, cut down those live ball turnovers, and just grow. And usually at this level, when kids come back from the Christmas break, you see the light turned on all of a sudden on a couple kids that maybe it didn't in the first semester. So just overall growth and a little bit more, being comfortable on the offensive end.
Once again, Darren Spence, Colby Community College women's head basketball coach. Coach, we appreciate you taking some time with us here this morning. Safe travels back. What you said you were in Phoenix? Is that right? Recruiting? Is that right?
Yes.
Well,
out in Phoenix.
While you're there, enjoy the weather. All right, enjoy the weather.
Well, it's kind of hard to when you're stuck in the gym all day.
That's true.
But driving around, it's not bad.
Well, we appreciate you getting up with us and spending time with us this morning, Coach. We'll catch up with you down the road. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Take care.
Once again, great stuff there from Darren Spence, head coach of the Colby Community College women's basketball team. Once again, like he said, they were 1 in 29 2 seasons ago. They had 8 wins last year in his first season, 9-5 already here in this.
And I think the most impressive thing is the 1.9 GPA all the way up to what he said, a 3.5 now. That's really impressive. So that's
getting
great
the right people in your program is huge.
Totally.
And I don't mean, this doesn't mean to be negative, but at 1.9 at the junior college level means you're just really not trying.
You're not showing up.
That's what it is. So
good for them. Good for them.
Great. And also very cool that they're led by, kind of a local girl in Jared Kruleski out of Holcomb. Pretty neat story.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap the show with some thoughts with Max. Max has got some thoughts on Patrick Mahomes and a few other little tidbits before we get out of here listening to the Morning Blitz on a Thursday.
When someone asks me when is the best time to start saving for retirement, my answer is simple. It's today. Hi, I'm Chris Yost, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Goodland. I can help you build a plan for your ideal retirement by identifying your unique goals and help keep you on track to achieve them. The sooner you get started, the better. Call me at 785-899-3611 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This time of year, my thoughts always go to family, friends, and people that have touched my life throughout the years. May the season bring you joy, happiness, and many blessings as it does to me. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from all of us at Colby Lumber, where we are more than just a lumberyard.
Good time to get your equipment into Colby Ag Center and have it gone through so it's ready to go this spring. Check out the shop and the parts specials going on right now at your Case IH dealer. That's Colby Ag Center, Oakley Ag Center, and Hoxie Implement, your Case IH red dealer.
At FNB Bank, we understand the backbone of our community is our local farmers and ranchers. Whether you're growing crops, raising livestock, or investing in new equipment, we're here to help you succeed. Our agricultural loans are tailored to meet the unique needs of your farm with flexible terms from people who understand what it takes to make it in agriculture. When you partner with FNB Bank, you're working with neighbors who know the land and are invested in your success. FNB Bank, rooted in our community, growing with you. Member FDIC.
Ross Volkmer.
I love him. I think he's great. I think he's a real winner.
It's the Morning Blitz.
Wrapping up the show here on a Thursday morning. As always, FB Bank text line open at 785-899-2220. If you missed any of the show, of course, you can check out the podcast anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We've got it on all the spots. Also, by the way, tonight it is our Santa. Santa's coming to NWKS Radio tonight from 5:30 to 7:30. Max, are you going to be playing the elf? Or helping out Santa with that?
That's a good one, Roz.
Anyway,
No.
he'll be reading the letters to Santa tonight. So once again, tune in on 100.3 The Ride and Flower Country 97.9 to hear if Santa reads your letter. Once again, that is tonight, right here on NWKS Radio on 100.3 The Ride and Flower Country 97.9.
This is good. I'm just saying that Vinny Pasquantino, Royals first baseman, big fan of the Jets. Just tweeted. So talking about the Jets Madden thing that we were talking about at the beginning of the hour, said, ha, 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 this is incredible. Best part is Woody Johnson is probably reading this. If you're looking for a GM, I've won multiple Super Bowls in Madden. So Vinny Pasquantino may be the next owner.
Anybody can do it if you're going to do it that way.
Yeah, sign me up.
All right, let's. I think we should call a segment like this "Taking It to the Max," where Max needs to get something off of his chest. And so, anyway, Max wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes. He's got something off social media. So it's the fake limp scandal with Patrick Mahomes. What's up? What's on your mind here?
Well,
unburden yourself.
It's hard to look anywhere besides this when you're on Chiefs Twitter a lot, like myself. Because everyone's always coming for Patrick Mahomes in any way they can discredit his success. They'll find it. They'll find it. So now it's moved to Patrick Mahomes fakes injuries to make the story better when he plays good in the playoffs. And I mean, this is a real, I'm not just, finding small things to say here. This is has millions of likes on Twitter. It's the craziest non-story ever that people are convinced that Mahomes is now faking injuries to make himself look better in the playoffs when he wins games. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing anyone on the Chiefs can do to please anyone besides Chiefs fans. And really, they can't even please Chiefs fans at this point. It's not something I ever expected as a Kansas City Chiefs fan to be world or nationwide hated the way that they are throughout this season, throughout last season. I was happy as a kid when they'd show the Chiefs on ESPN. I'd be like, "Look, Dad, we're on national TV. This is crazy." And now it's this full blown, everyone hates the Kansas City Chiefs, and I get it. We're successful. I get it, but at a certain point, it's like it's turned into a conspiracy that the NFL is rigging football games for the Chiefs, and the NFL Goodell is on the phone with the refs calling flags against the teams the Chiefs are facing. Now Mahomes is faking an injury. It doesn't matter what these guys do. If we three-peat this year, if the Chiefs three-peat this year, there will still be some controversy of the refs and the rigging and the Chiefs and the injuries it doesn't matter. So my advice, if there's Chiefs fans that hate it as much as I do, is just go with it at this point. Everyone wanted to be the Patriots. This is what the Patriots had to go through to an extent. That wasn't, social media didn't dominate the world as much for most of the Patriots dynasty, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And there's a lot of hate, but this is what you get when you are as good of a franchise in a dynasty like the Kansas City Chiefs are. So this is just the next footnote in this entire year of just bashing the Chiefs, is that Mahomes is now faking ankle injuries, Ross. You know why? You asked why does he get so many high ankle injuries? He's faking it. Obviously, he's faking all of these injuries. That's what Twitter is telling me. So
right,
craziness.
Listener Andy chimes in, I think, with the best text here on the FB Bank text line, 785-899-2222. Everyone hates a winner, is what listener Andy says. So
yep,
that's right. Everybody hates a winner. That's true.
Adjustment.
Someone who's not a winner, though, is Wisconsin Green Bay's head coach, Doug Gottlieb. For those who don't know, Doug Gottlieb, of course, radio personality, still is, by the way. He hosts a radio show on Fox Sports, and he's now the head coach at Wisconsin Green Bay at the same time. I don't know how the guy has time to do it all. Really, he really doesn't, because he still makes himself look like a jerk. Anyway, did you happen to see this story with Doug Gottlieb, where during a press conference, Doug Gottlieb talked about how, he referred to his weaker opponents that his team is playing as Nobody U, is what he called them.
I did see
well,
that.
Nobody U got the best of his team as Division II Michigan Tech beat them 72-70 on Wednesday for their 8th consecutive loss. That's right. Nobody.
Oh man, Nobody U.
How in the world can you be how hard can it be to be a media personality and make hot takes and opinions, and then go and be a coach and have to try to live on both sides of the coin? That's just not really.
Well, the problem with coaches saying dumb stuff like that is the players got to back them up.
It would be hard because you would cross over. Like, your mind would cross over from times like, I shouldn't say that as a coach, but I need to say it as a media personality,
That's true.
You probably don't want to say it. You probably say it because your job's entertaining.
Oh,
that's the problem.
He didn't show up for his radio show after losing.
Shocking he didn't show up.
He did not show up for his radio show.
Get the B team in. I'm not going to be in for a few days until this blows over. Gosh.
Oh man.
That's not even the worst. That's not even the most intriguing story of the day. Tomorrow, we don't have any time to dive into this, but I'm hoping tomorrow we are going to talk college football playoff and make our picks, because the CFP begins tomorrow. We are also going to talk about the unbelievable story that came down yesterday, that Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Davia was granted another year. But there is so much layered in that story that impacts athletes around here that I think we need to take a deeper dive into it. So we will do that tomorrow. So mark your calendar. We're going to talk about that
and
as well.
We'll discuss our 2 and 3 hour drives down to Cimarron and Hugoton.
Talk about our favorite stopping points on the way to Cimarron and Hugoton.
The most scenic of stopping points as well.
Very scenic.
Of course, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
it's a beautiful drive down there. I'll give you the secret road to go down to Cimarron. It'll be better.
A scenic view?
Nah, I mean, it's not real scenic, but it's faster.
Okay, well, yeah.
How about that for an answer?
Definitely let me know about that.
Also, before we get to the walk-off, I did have a texter chime in. Michelle chimed in. I did not know this. Thank you, Michelle, for chiming in. But I mentioned earlier in the show that Hutch Community College won the JUCO national title last night down in Canyon, Texas, over Iowa Western. But Josh Sudas, who played football here at Goodland High, he is on the Hutch Dragon football team. He didn't play last night, but he's on the Hutch Dragon football team.
There you go.
I did not know that. I didn't know he transferred. He must have gone from Butler to Hutch, because he was at Butler last I knew. I can't keep track of everything, unfortunately.
It's tough.
All right, so let's get to the walk-off.
A 3-run walk-off home run, a game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion, that baby's go.
So last night, North Dakota took on Alabama, and there's an interesting story because the big man for Alabama, and for some reason his name is eclipsing me, he transferred in last year. This is his second year there. He's really, really talented, a skilled big guy. Anyway, he's playing for it. But anyway, North Dakota came down and played there at Alabama, and so it was against his former team. And the man who stole the show was his teammate, a young man by the name of Trey Eaglestaff from North Dakota. Went off for a 40-burger and hit 8 threes. Eaglestaff's been there for a while at North Dakota. I'm shocked he hasn't gotten a chance to go play somewhere else. My guess is that will change next year. He's on the map, and he will be somewhere else probably next year playing college basketball. Will Trey Eaglestaff. Also tonight, the college volleyball semifinals. Check that out, people. If you don't, it's on ESPN. You're missing out if you don't check it out. It's fantastic. High flying, high energy. What those ladies do is impressive. So check out that. And what about the Royals, Max? What's up with the Royals today?
I think we missed the last show. No, it's really not breaking at all. Kyle Wright extended. I know a lot of people forgot that he even existed, but we got him last year. Knew he was hurt, so he was kind of planning on pitching this year. But this is a guy that won 21 games in the Braves just a few years ago. So another arm that's going to be back and healthy. Also, Hollywood Brown officially active for Saturday.
Ooh. Well, they got rid of Clyde Edwards-Helaire to bring him on, so he's ready to roll.
Let's get it.
Will Mahomes be able to move to get the ball to him, or will it be Wentz?
It's going to be Mahomes.
Yeah,
It's going
sounds
to
like it will be.
be Mahomes.
For Max, I'm Ross. Thanks again. Thanks to Darren Spence. We'll see you tomorrow on a Friday edition of The Blitz.